Hello friends, Baltmatrix here, and today we're taking a look at Studio Series number 52 set of the Biker Ladies. In other words, Chromia, Arcee, and Elita-1. Now I'm going to go ahead and start this video review in their bike modes simply because I think I think the review would best be served starting here. Because, well, reasons. Alright, so let's take a look at the bike modes individually. Chromia's bike mode, I think, is the most successful of the three. The blue and the grays and the silver work incredibly well. I love the front of the bike mode, and it's not obvious that it's going to transform into a robot. Sort of. It's not a bad bike mode, and it kind of rolls. Ish. Next up is Arcee, and Arcee's bike mode is the only one that can stand without any kickstand or leaning over, really. And that's because of this long bottom piece right here that it just kind of sits on. It can roll-ish, and the pink works well. And overall, it's okay, but it's just weirdly proportioned on either side. On the left side, it seems like a bunch of parts are missing. On the right side, there's an obvious giant robot arm sticking off the side. Yeah, it's not that great, and it doesn't hold together all that well. These pink pieces up front are supposed to peg into the top part of the bike, but as soon as you start moving the bike around, it pops off, and there's obvious a giant robot head sticking out under there. It's not awful, but it's not great. And finally, we have Chromia, which has the hardest time standing up. If you've got even just a little bit off, it doesn't stand up, and it just has a tendency to topple over towards the right. The bike mode itself doesn't hold together well at all. There's obviously a giant robot arm sticking off here on the side, and if you lift the gas cap up a little bit, oh hi, giant robot head. Also the gas cap or tank doesn't connect very well to the rest of the body of the vehicle mode. It doesn't hold together well much at all. And I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's supposed to be a crotch rocket, which is a type of motorcycle, which is also what Arcee is, but it just doesn't work all that well for me. When talking about vehicle mode size, these figures scale better towards the current line of Battle Masters, or aka Micromasters. As you can see, they are roughly the same size. They are obviously bigger than the cars, but they're a little bit better scaled towards the military vehicles than the cars. The planes are roughly the same size as the cars, so they all kind of scale together. And unfortunately, the bike modes are just a smidge too small to be used by the Battle Masters or the Target Masters in their robot modes, which is unfortunate. If these bike modes were scaled just a little bit bigger, maybe 1.5% bigger, they would be perfect vehicles for Battle Masters. Now, we're going to get into the transformation here in just a moment, but I do need to show off some of the accessories. There are 3 weapons-ish that the figures come with. The first is this long sword-like thing, which can't be mounted in vehicle mode. Then there is this engine piece that can't be mounted in vehicle mode. And then there is this rear gun piece, which can't be mounted in vehicle mode. Sorry, I hit the camera there. This is a thing that really irks me. You've got these 3 pieces of accessories that they can't go on vehicle modes. They just can't be used. So they're small enough that a small child could eat them, and on top of that, what are you going to do? Just keep them in a baggie? Oh, yeah, and speaking of other accessories, there are the 3 stands. I was really hoping that these stands were somehow incorporated into the vehicles. They're not. They're just here off to the side. So you have 6 accessories, which you need to keep in a small baggie. Otherwise, a small human or animal are going to eat them. Alright, we're going to get into the transformations now, and we're going in the order that the original figures were released. So it's going to be Chromia, Arcee, then Elita-1. Chromia's transformation is, as I said, probably the most, or my favorite. To start off with, come to the back and unpeg the entire rear of the section of the vehicle mode and the gas can, and flip that out of the way. Then reach inside and flip out the robot arm. Fold the figure up, and then turn the entire thing 180 degrees. Come to the front of the vehicle mode, and this whole thing will rotate down like that. So then you can stand the figure up, turn the arms so that they are positioned, rotate the wheel out, reach inside behind the head and push that forward, and then turn the head 180 degrees so it's actually facing forward, which is a lot harder than you might think it should be. And that's pretty much it. That is the robot mode. Now we come to the one accessory, and really you don't know which accessory is going to go with which unless you look at the directions or you just start kind of futzing around with them. And this one's going to be for Chromia, and you just drop her in, and you have to kind of play with it to figure out which way it's going to go. So the circle is going to go with one of these wheel nuts, and then she'll just stand like that, and then you can kind of futz it around and just let it go until it can stand on its own. Oh, and before we take a closer look at her, this is the one accessory that she gets. It's supposed to peg into the bottom of her right arm to be this weird sword. Now, this accessory, which is blue, you would think goes with her, but it doesn't. According to the directions, it goes with Arcee. And you're supposed to be able to peg it into the upper arm of the figure, but with Chromia, it doesn't peg in really at all, unless maybe I can just get this in like that. Okay, there. The only problem is, with that accessory there, you lose a whole chunk of posability. Oh, and if you put the arm out too far, she just falls over. The overall aesthetic of Chromia isn't great. The blue works well, but all the other colors are muddied and just don't work all that well. And the head sculpt it's minimal. I appreciate that they painted it silver, but it's impossible to see any actual, definition or any... Okay, let me put it this way. I'm old enough that I need to take my glasses off and pull the figure up close to my eye in order to be able to make out any detail on it. Next up, we're going to transform Arcee. And Arcee's transformation it's not easier, it's similar, but just a smidge different. To start off with, we're going to come to the side and pull the one giant robot arm away. Then come to the bottom, or sorry, not the bottom, the back of the vehicle mode and unpeg the rear from the gas tank and from the seat, the seat and the gas tank and the whatever these are, exhausts. Fold that all the way out. Then grab the front of the vehicle mode and unpeg it and fold it up. And there's the robot head. There are the arms, and we got a little bit of a, I guess you could call this a Centurion Doctor, the evil guy. So yeah, you can have kind of a pseudo transformation going on here, but that's not it. So what we have to do is unpeg the wheels from the rest of the body and fold it up. The wheels will collapse down like this and fold down and around like that. And then we stand the figure up and turn the entire torso or top torso around like that, and then bring these pink pieces. I can't remember if we bring them down or not. I don't think we do. I have to look at the directions real quick, because... no, they just kind of stick off the back. So they kind of just fold out like this. And, yeah, this is pretty much it. We just have to grab her little stand here and get these wheels in and figure out the best way to get that stood up. And, yeah, there we go. That's it. That's Arcee. Arcee's vibrant color scheme works the best, I think. I think the pink and the gray and the silver all work pretty darn well together, though the figure itself is pretty lacking. Now, the reason I'm actually going from vehicle mode into robot mode is because getting these things down into the bike modes is such a pain at this size scale. If these things were deluxe class, it would be a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable, but at this Battlemaster class, it's not fun. Okay, so the accessories, the first of which is this giant cannon thing. There's no way to actually peg it onto the arm, so it just kind of slips over top the arm and plugs in. And then this piece, which I am convinced is supposed to be for Chromia, goes like that. Both of those look absolutely ridiculous. Oh, and if you're not careful, it will fall over, but thankfully, due to the thick stand, it's not going to fall over easily. Again, the face sculpt is painted well in the silver, but again, the silver on pink, there's actually so much saturation on the pink, I actually can't really tell much about the face. It's okay, though. I mean, at this size scale, who really cares? Last up is Elita-1, and we're going to start off with by coming to the left side, unpegging the robot arm, and then coming to the top of the gas tank and unfold the gas tank from the rest of the body. Kind of fold the front up a little bit so we can then come to the front wheel, unpeg it, and fold it out away from the body. Then reach down, push the head down, take the right handlebar and push it all the way to the left. Then take the entire torso section, or not even the torso section, this entire purple section that makes the middle body of the vehicle mode, and it will fold forward like this. Then grab the entire body, pull it out, turn it 180 degrees, and then turn this 180 degrees, and stand the monstrosity up like that. That's pretty much it. We can actually grab these purple bits and then take this piece down by the bottom wheel and fold it all the way out. And I'm looking at the pictures of the vehicle. I actually have missed a couple of steps here. So fold the wheels down, fold this whole section up, and then these purple bits feels like they're supposed to go towards the back like that. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. Still ugly, but better. Oh, she actually doesn't have a hand. The wheel is her hand, or her left hand. So, yeah. And her right hand is, I swear that right hand is not correct. I swear it's supposed to go somewhere else. All right, so the last bit is the last piece, and this piece will actually snap into the wheel bit right there. So like that. And then she could stand up like so. And just get her all straightened up. I will give Hasbro credit. The ball joints that hold the torso section for all of these, or torso-ish section, are all nice and tight. So you're not going to get any floppiness. Just the ball joints and the shoulders on all of them are a little bit on the floppy side. Just a little bit. Chromia's robot mode is probably my least favorite, simply because she doesn't really have any real hands. And I don't know, it just doesn't work for me all that well. The lack of a real left hand is annoying, and then this weird right hand that seems to be mirrored incorrectly. It feels like this should be on the outside of the hand as opposed to the inside. Just like a reverse lobster claw. It's just odd. It's just odd. And then let's not even get into the fact that the stand constantly snaps off. And then her head sculpt. Oh, her head sculpt. It could be better, but it isn't. So, who cares? I really want to be more positive about these ladies than I am. I really, really do, but I don't think they're good. I don't think these are fun toys. They are so frustrating to transform. Even from vehicle mode to robot mode, they're annoying. I've sat down with these guys for a while now, and I'm just not positive on them. Now, height-wise, here they are next to some Battle Masters. They are definitely bigger than Battle Masters, thankfully. But even though they're bigger than Battle Masters, they are dwarfed by Transformers Legends class figures, specifically Sea Spray and Beachcomber here. And don't even get me started on Deluxe class. I mean, the Deluxe class ones could probably eat these guys for breakfast. I mean, they're charging for a Deluxe class, and you're effectively getting 3 Legion class movie figures. You remember Legion class? The Cyberverse class. Legion, Cyberverse, that class of figure. They're roughly the same size as those, I think. Actually, I think the Legions might be bigger. Anywho, size-wise, they really need to be bigger. They really need to be bigger. I had such hope for these figures. I really, really did, and I am super disappointed. And sad. Just overly sad, because I think these figures could be good. Now, one thing we need to talk about is a combination. Now, for those of you that don't know, back in the day, there was an original concept that said that these 3 all combined into some kind of monstrosity of a figure. The original figures didn't do that. They were originally going to, however. So I've been hoping that these would. They don't. But, but, something's been percolating in my head. So, pulling these apart and taking a look at these stands, there's a lot of extra plastic on some of these stands that really makes me think that they are going to combine at some point. Like, what is this little piece here for? It's almost as if it's supposed to peg in somewhere. And what's this piece here for? That looks like it's supposed to peg into, specifically into like a gas can or a gas tank or something. Maybe up here, but it's a little bit small. And I've been looking around on all the figures, and I'm not convinced that they don't or aren't going to combine in some way at some point. Like, for example, what's this opening for? Like, why is that there? If you look at all these different little pieces, it really feels like there's something missing that's preventing them from combining. Like, we're missing just a couple of pieces that they can all just fit together with. And I'll be honest, I'm not smart enough to actually sit down and really try to figure out if all of these do combine or if all of these are supposed to snap together in some magical way that will make them combine. I'm hoping the official Takara release does combine. I doubt it will. The one thing I do have hope for is that the folks that are making the oversized figures, like the oversized Siege figures and the oversized Power of the Primes figures, in like the next 18 months, get a hold of these, scale them up, and then figure out for a way for them to combine. Because that would make this set, I think, more worthwhile. As it is right now, I can't recommend them at all. I don't like them. I don't think they're painted that well. They all feel very flimsy, and the transformations just suck. And yes, I did cheat by going from vehicle mode to robot mode, not robot mode to vehicle mode. But I'll tell you, it's a pain. It's a royal pain. And these directions don't help. Because the directions, they're not awful, but they're hard to read. And Arcee is the easiest, I think, to figure out. But the bright red on gray is not good, and Hasbro needs to stop that. It just doesn't help us. Anyway, enough of me ranting and complaining. Please let me know what you think of these figures down in the comments. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to hit the bell when you know a new video is out. And please, considering following the link down in the description to my Patreon. Your financial contributions every month help me continue to do this. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I will catch you next time.